helping Jumpy out with extra nuts. He's storing food. Squirrels hide food in the ground. Then when they need it, they dig it up and have plenty to eat.
George never knew the ground was such a good place to store food. George and the man with the yellow hat needed a good place to store food.
George, squirrels bury nuts and seeds, not orange juice. Orange juice doesn't belong in the ground. Let me show you what belongs in the ground, okay? See this? Nuts and seeds come from trees and plants. They can grow into new ones if they're not eaten. You see, that's a peanut Jumpy buried a while ago. It started to grow. Now, when I was a boy, this tree wasn't here.
Hi, Bouncy Squirrel.
I used to watch Jumpy's great-grandfather bury his food. That winter, Jumpy's great-grandfather didn't eat that acorn. Then it started to grow and just kept growing. This tree came from an acorn just like this. Now do you understand?
George thought he understood.
We need more orange juice, so I'll walk back to the market. Then I really need to get back to that speech.
If an acorn could become a big tree, the man with the yellow hat hadn't finished his speech. George could grow the rest for him.
Blah, 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 bleedy, bleed, blue, blah, blah.
Thank you.
This would be the best speech ever. When the man looked like that, it meant George was about to hear a long lecture.
So, you see, seeds, nuts, acorns grow. My socks, the radio, the can opener don't grow. Okay.
George didn't have the talents of a squirrel, but he did have the talents of a monkey, which meant he could see really well.
You found it!
The speech!
Well, that's not made of metal.
So this is the air that inspired that wonderful speech. Are you planting something?
It's a long story. That's not a peanut. Looks like something you buried is growing. Maybe you are a little bit squirrel after all.
It was a perfect day to explore Lake Wanasink Lake. Bill called it picture perfect.
You know, George, nature photography requires skill, patience, and timing. Remember, George, to cross a log, you need exact foot placement and a keen sense of balance. Those are tadpoles, George. A common form of pond life. I guess A city kid like you never sees any real wildlife, huh? Hey, why don't we take some back home and observe their growth? While collecting tadpoles, both proper net control and collecting jar placement are crucial.
The tadpole's bowl was small. George thought they deserved to stretch their, well, whatever a tadpole stretches, and decided to let them enjoy a quick swim in the lagoon while he went to get their lunch. Where could the tadpoles be?
George! Look, my caterpillar is in its pupa stage. I bet kids like you never see that in the city, huh? Hey, have my tadpoles done anything amazing yet?
Weeks went by before George returned to the lake. George still couldn't find the tadpoles, but they had to be in the lagoon. These loud frogs probably scared the tadpoles away. It was time for George to tell Bill he'd lost the tadpoles.
Hey, George. That was a good idea to release my tadpoles into their natural habitat. How'd you like watching them grow into frogs? Pretty neat, huh? Uh-huh. Just like my caterpillar changed into a butterfly. See?
The tadpoles were right here all the time. They had just been, well, growing up.
Smile, George!
Before long, George thought the frogs were even more fun than the tadpoles. Well, most of the time. Lobby? George decided it would probably be better to eat his apples someplace else. Hunley had never been through this door before. But he was pretty sure it was against the rules to be out here. Hunley didn't think George would ever get in that way. So he'd find a better way.
All right, move it along.
found each other at last. Time to go home. But where was home? George realized that finding someone works better if you're not lost too. Hundley worried. What if he never found his way back?
Oh, Hundley, what'll I do without Hundley?
And so, by working together as a team, George remembering what they had heard, and Hundley using his sensitive, powerful dog ears, they were home thanks to teamwork. Hundley couldn't remember why he ever thought George was trouble.
Rug's all clean, sir. You should see the dirt I picked up. This barrel probably has the filthiest water in the world in it.
George really wanted to see the filthiest water in the world.
Puddle ducks. See, George, I told you it was great weather for ducks.
The next morning, George raced out for another day with puddle ducks.
George? Wow, that puddle sure shrunk. Well, puddles soak into the ground. They don't last forever. Ducks go where there's plenty of water. When the water's gone, they'll leave. It's just what ducks do.
He needed something that held water but was smaller than a pail. This was going to take a few trips. George knew he couldn't fill the pool in time. It was over.
George, I saw you running up and down. What are you doing, trying to fill a pool one cup at a time? City kids, there are proper ways to carry water. I'll show ya. Stop there, or it'll be too heavy. Well, I carry one up. You fill the other one halfway. This is called a bucket brigade. All done. Come on up.
George's idea worked. A happy ending for ducks and duck lovers.
This is way too close to the edge. I'll pull it back. Whoa!
At that moment, Jumpy remembered why he always stayed in trees.
George, is that yo, my hat?
You know, there's a proper method for mop squeezing.
Yep, I know, Bill. George, I want to remind you, those ducks are here temporarily.
George wondered exactly how long he could make temporarily last.
Hi, guys. Wow, you're in the wrong place. That belongs in an art museum.
We're here to buy cool magnets to stick George's picture to the refrigerator.
Say, while you're here, do you want to see our new magnetorium?
Yeah. Oh, were you talking to George?
George was in a hurry to get home and hang up his drawing. But he was curious.
Welcome to the magnetorium.
I think magnetism is my favorite invisible force.
George knew he could spend all day here. But they were on a mission.
Oh, right. We'll come back another day and play with all this stuff.
Before you go, try to touch this magnet against the back of the cars. Now try to touch it to the front. Everything isn't magnetic, just certain metals.
Oh, George, check this out. This isn't a magnet, see? But anything attracted to a magnet can be turned into a magnet by rubbing the magnet on it like this, in the same direction. Why don't you watch the big magnet while I talk to the owner? Excuse me, George sure loves magnets. Could he watch?
Well, sure.
Now don't go anywhere.
This is a powerful electromagnet. Hit that red button and watch what happens. You see? That turns the magnet off so we can drop stuff. Hit the green one. That picks stuff up. Hit the red button and drop her in the crusher.
George couldn't let his best drawing ever go into the crusher.
No, not the lever, the button!
Chances of finding a pizza pan and all this stuff.
That's it. And that's the exact handle I need. How much do you want for it?
Whew, I gotta give that crane man a raise.
George and the man with the yellow hat did everything they set out to do that day.
Good night, George?
Now he'd done it all.
Good night, George.
Oh, careful. I'll lose control. Flying a kite's all about control. Sorry, I can't turn over control to an inexperienced city kid. This isn't as easy as I make it look. I studied the Beaufort wind scale for 3 years. I never make mistakes. Rats! That's never coming down. Oh, for a city kid, you sure can't climb a tree. Not a scratch. Thanks, George. As a reward, I'll let you fly her.
Bill! Billy!
Coming! I promised I'd help Mom gut a pumpkin. I won't be long. You watch the kite till I get back.
George figured he could watch the kite even better while it flew. George was really flying that kite now. Or maybe it was flying him.
You get it okay? Left without saying goodbye. City folk.
It couldn't wait. Boy, for a city kid who never flew a kite before, got her up higher than I ever did. Whoa!
Well, hi, Bill.
You own binoculars?
Sure do.
What's trailing behind that kite?
Oh, it's George. It's George! And he's got a squirrel on his head. Bill, you call the fire department.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. They seem to know how to do everything.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going up there after him. George! George!
It was his friend, the man with the yellow hang glider.
All right, guys, hang on tight. We're going home.
George would never forget the day he was almost a bird. And he added almost being a bird to the list of things squirrels don't like.
You're a natural kite flyer, kid.
Good work. Lunch is ready. Here's some lunch for you too, Jumpy.
It's time to bring her in, George!
What's going on?
Mio caro Gnocchi. She has been sneaking into the main room and scratching up at the seats. It's a disastro. You see? Look what she has done. Can you believe a little gatto, a sweet little kitty, could do such damage? I must ban Gnocchi from the restaurante.
Oh, well, we saw the house you built her. It's very nice.
Grazie. I plan to add a second story, eh? Oh, that is Gnocchi. She wants to come in. Oh, I feel terrible.
She only wants to come in because you say she cannot. Oh, typical cat. This kitchen is in torment. I suspect there will be no cannoli until this problem is solved. Eh? Back outside.
At the museum, George was too distracted to concentrate.
Professor Wiseman.
Hey guys, welcome to my new exhibit. It's called How Great Scientists Got Their Great Ideas. These are portraits of some great scientists. Isaac Newton, Benjamin Franklin, Marie Curie,
And Albert Einstein.
Once you think like a scientist, George, you can solve almost any problem.
George had a problem. He wanted cannoli.
You know, scientists think about problems and get ideas to solve them. They observe, then collect information. And if that information doesn't help solve their problem, they observe more and get a different idea. Oh dear, excuse me. Young man, get down from there.
George wondered what great scientists would do if they were monkeys who had no cannoli because Gnocchi had scratched the booths.
I say, do we know for certain that she did it like the chef believes?
You must think about what you observed.
George did see Gnocchi scratch the door, but could she have scratched the booth too?
What you observe does not support the chef's idea about Gnocchi making the scratches.
If George could prove Gnocchi was innocent, Chef Pischetti would be happy, and George would have cannoli.
Oh, I love cannoli.
George had to observe more.
Giorgio! What are you doing in here?
They know him. He's not a monkey.
That guy was so wrong.
George showed them what he had discovered.
Oh, Giorgio, oh, I love this kid. You are proving Gnocchi is innocent. I'm so happy. I'm gonna make 2 trays of cannoli. Exactly. Cannoli for everyone on the house.
Making enough cannoli for everyone was exhausting, because though George thought like a scientist, he ate like a monkey and drinking juice. George had seen a lot of birds, but none wearing one of those. Bird had seen a lot of animals, but none doing that. He wasn't going anywhere till he figured out what kind of animal George was.
George, be careful out there. Hold on. Just because he came back here doesn't make this his home. Homing pigeons have special homes. Ah, that's the pizza. Wash up. George, he needs to go home. This just isn't a good home for pigeons.
If that's how it had to be, then George would turn their home into a good home for pigeons. It wasn't perfect. Yet.
Compass, good to see you. Yeah, Compass is an almost homing pigeon. He won't admit he has a weak sense of direction.
George, the doorman is the pigeon's friend. He came to take him home. To his real home.
Everybody, look who's home!
See? He's back where he belongs. I bought it for birds to sit in, so you can draw them. Nice effort, George. But birds want to sit in a real tree. Compass! Look, a real tree for you. Make yourself at home.
Pigeon still didn't know what George was, but he sure made a good tree. Out for something special.
You know what this morning's crying out for?
Huh?
Donuts! Hold on! I have to get dressed. I can't go out like this. All right, I'm going.
You don't know impatient until you've been a monkey waiting for a donut.
How about eggs with those donuts? Hey, count the eggs and write down how many we have. Ready. So how many eggs do we have? There are no eggs. Well, why didn't you write 0? Oh, you don't know. I thought I was teaching you everything, and I forgot nothing. 0 alone means no eggs. None at all. But 0 with other numbers makes them mean a lot more. See, if we write a 0 after 1, that's 10. Write another 0, that's 100. That's 1,000. 10,000. Hey, nice zeros, you've got it. Whoa! I'll go in here and buy eggs while you get the donuts, okay? 1 dozen donuts, please. We'll meet back home. And be a good little monkey.
George was really hungry, but his order only had a measly 1 on it.
Huh?
Then he remembered what the man with the yellow hat had told him about zeros.
George, Gnocchi, good to see ya. Oh, is that an order for your friend with the yellow hat? 100 dozen? Oh, our biggest order ever! Oh, he must be having a giant donut party!
George realized what his zeros had done. But try explaining that to a dog. George could only think of one solution to a problem this big. George realized he couldn't go home because then those donut people would know where he lived.
Woo! We're right behind you!
So, in the end, George headed home with 1 dozen donuts.
There's no monkey on that dog. Monkey! We lost him.
Doorman. Oh, what are we gonna do with them all?
So, in the end, George got 1 dozen donuts, like he was supposed to. And the hard-working firefighters thought everything was perfect.
How many left, George?
Ah!